Hello, we are Team Elixir. I am Chinmayi.
And I'm Devika, and our topic is the exploration and the analytics of the Summer Olympics dataset.
Our contributions to the project is I have done the visualization, the linear regression model, and the neural networks model. Devika has done the pre-processing of data and the SVM model. This project examines the history and current state of analytics in sports, specifically for the Summer Olympics held every 4 years. Spotting patterns in the data is very important to improve performance. This applies to sports teams and businesses alike. Data analytics has played an important role in providing the extra edge required to excel in various fields, not just sports.
For almost all top athletes from all over the world, the Olympic Games are the best arena to showcase their excellence. We have used multiple data sets like the Summer Olympics dataset available on Kaggle, GDP dataset available on Gapminder, reprocessed this data and merged them to create a single dataset. There are two key aspects of sports analytics, on-field and off-field. The on-field analytics deals with improving the on-field performance of teams and players. It digs deep into aspects such as game tactics and player fitness. The off-field analytics deals with the business side of sports, focuses on helping an organization to take better decisions that will lead to a higher growth and increased profitability. The hidden factors like population and GDP have not yet been considered by different sports analytics websites. Analyzing such factors can help us infer an overall growth of a country not just in terms of the focus area but also their contribution to the world.
A country's success in sports can be evaluated relative to just a small number of demographic and economic characteristics such as population size and GDP. In this project, we try to evaluate the effects of the major factors such as GDP per capita, performance of the country in the previous years for medal count.
The available data was organized using the country codes and we did not have any details about the GDP. There was a lot of pre-processing done using the GDP data from Gapminder and bind them with the available data using the previous data sets and combine them using the IOC codes. The missing value in the GDP data was filled using the simple repetition of extension method. The pre-processing was done manually. The SVM model was evaluated by calculating the error percentage, which was approximately 17%. There are multiple papers which concluded that the GDP of a country affects its performance in Olympics. But the SVM model we built showed that the GDP had a very little effect and a correlation of 0.2, whereas the previous year performance, which has not yet been considered by the previous works done, had a huge effect on the performance.
But in multiple regression model, the GDP and previous year's performance, both the attributes had a significant effect, whereas the year had a slightly lesser effect. We have also constructed a neural network to predict the medal count, whose performance can be improved after sufficient training. Right now, the error is 39%. By using the visualizations, this is a graph which shows the percentage of gold medals won by men and women across years at different Olympics. The Summer Olympics were suspended in 1916 and 1940 and 1944, hence the gaps. Female athletes were excluded from the first modern Olympic Games in 1896 because its founder felt their participation would be inappropriate. The number of women participating in organized sports is continuing to grow around the world, as evidenced by the shrinking gap between the number of female athletes and male athletes at the recent Olympics. Women were first allowed the longest distance of 800 meters freestyle only in 1968, which remains the longest distance for women. Up until then, women were considered to be too delicate to swim a race this long. After more than 100 years, gender equality is still more goal than reality. As in 2016 Rio Olympic Games, there were more men events, 161, than women's and mixed events, 145. This is a bar plot of medal count distributed by sports. Aquatics, along with track and field athletics and gymnastics, is one of the most popular spectator sports at the Games. This is a graph of total medals awarded each year at the Olympics. At every edition of the Olympics, changes to the competition format or the events themselves have been made. Therefore, the dip can be explained. In 1920, Olympics were awarded to Antwerp in hopes of bringing a spirit of renewal to Belgium, which was devastated during World War I. The Berlin Games in 1936 are the best remembered for Adolf Hitler's failed attempt to use them to prove his theories of Aryan racial superiority. This is a line plot of the women medals won by the 5 highest grossing countries. China started participating only in the 1980s, and since then it has consistently been at the top of the medal table. But the performance of the USSR countries has been fluctuating, mostly because of the predominant political unrest. Thank you.